Jerome-Alexander. I'm a certified educational planner and the founder of Magellan College Counseling. I want to take just a moment to share with you the factors that colleges report are important to them when they make their admission decisions. And I have a longer webinar that I'll put a link to in the blog post that will accompany this video. But I just want to show you that every year colleges report to, they respond to a survey that this organization conducts. This is the National Association for College Admission Counseling. And pretty much all of the 2,200 four-year colleges in the United States are members of this organization. And every year they send out a questionnaire and the colleges respond, and NACAC puts together a report. And this is just sort of the executive summary of the report. I just want you to take a look at the order in which the factors in the admission decision are listed. And so what NACAC does is it compiles that data, and it's going to share with you in this chart what percentage of the colleges who respond to the questionnaire say that each of these factors has either considerable importance or moderate importance or limited importance or none at all. So you can see that high school grades in college prep courses are the #1 factor on the list. And so there's a little bit of a distinction here: college prep courses and then total high school grades in all courses. So for example, I live in California. I usually tell my California students that the way the UCs, the University of California, looks at applications is a little bit different than other colleges around the country. And here is kind of that distinction. So most colleges, when they say college prep courses, they're looking at the 5 core courses, right? Your English, your foreign language, math, science, and your social studies. Those are the 5 core areas. The UCs also look at music or visual and performing arts classes. So those would factor into the GPA. But the colleges that report this as their, as a considerable, most important factor, they're really only considering those 5 core areas. So you can see this number is huge. 76.8% basically say that this is the most important factor. And then we've got total high school grades, and then we get to the strength of curriculum. What that means is, did you take honors and AP classes? Whenever I'm talking to a student, I always tell them that I'm going to recalculate your GPA and I'm going to unweight it, right? Because colleges are absolutely looking to see that you're taking honors and AP classes, but they really need to put everyone on sort of a level playing field. And so that's why, they can compare students if everybody's on the same scale, which would be the 4.0 scale unweighted. But then they're absolutely taking the strength of your curriculum into consideration. And I will tell you that the colleges that you apply to will get, along with your transcript, a document called the school profile, and that will let them know which honors and AP classes your school offered. So they're going to know what you took in the context of what was available to you. So for example, if you go to a school that has a limited number of honors and AP classes or none at all, the colleges will know that, and you will not be dinged, if you will. And again, that's why colleges really need to compare everybody mostly on an unweighted GPA, because if I go to a school that's got 20 different AP classes available and I've taken 16 of them, and I literally have worked with students who have taken 14, 15, 16 AP classes through high school, but you go to a high school that has no AP classes available to you, how on earth can they compare your 4.0 against my 4.8? It's not, it's not doable. So they really have to compare everybody on the same level playing field, but taking into consideration different aspects of your application. So the strength of your curriculum, very, very important. And then this is so crazy, but look at the drop off between what's the percentage of colleges that report that these items have considerable or even considerable and moderate importance, and then we drop down to positive character attributes. Now, if you add considerable to moderate, we're back up to the 60% range. So it's a lot, but it's not even close to the grades and the rigor. Grades and rigor. Nothing beats an unweighted 4.0, and nothing beats a chock full of rigor for all 4 years of high school, including senior year, by the way. Nothing beats a beautiful transcript that's got a ton of A's or mostly A's, and a lot of rigor. Let me say one more thing about the mostly A's situation, and I will drop an image into this blog post. In the last 20 years, we have seen an incredible ramp up of the number of students who are graduating from high school with a straight A average, right? With literally an unweighted 4.0. The number is up to like 65%. And so how are the colleges supposed to take that information and make decisions based on it? In my world, we call that grade inflation. And it's a really serious problem that colleges are dealing with. It's an even bigger problem considering, I hope you guys have realized that I'm not down to where we say test scores. We're way down here. Test scores are way down here. So for those of you who are parent age, my age, who applied to college 20 plus, I'm being generous, 20 plus years ago, the test scores don't mean anywhere near what they meant when we applied to college. They are nowhere near as important. I mean, look at this number as courses and rigor. That's really what we're looking for, is courses and rigor, grades and rigor. So yeah, there's all of these things: character attributes, essays, students' interest in attending. This is something called demonstrated interest, which some schools count and some do not. So it's really important that you understand that taking a tour of Harvard is not going to impact your Harvard application, right? They do not take that demonstrated interest into consideration, but a lot of other schools do. So it's something that you should be looking up as you build your list. Here's the recommendations. They're important, they're in the 50% range if you count both considerable and moderate importance. Extracurricular activities, they're important, but they're not going to outweigh superstar grades. When we moved to a world where you were not required to submit your test scores, a lot of people thought, oh, I'm just going to throw in an application because, everyone's got a chance, right? You never know. And I just want you to understand that, an amazing extracurricular activity is not going to overcome a deficiency in grades or rigor, right? The grades and rigor are truly, truly the most important part of a college application. There's a couple other things going on here. Some colleges consider AP and IB scores, but look how low these numbers are. Some colleges will, consider work as part of extracurricular activities, right? Some colleges do interviews, but honestly, fewer and fewer are doing them because they see them as a bastion of the privileged who are able to look up and determine which colleges offer an interview. So many colleges, including the one I interviewed for 15 years, are not offering interviews at all anymore. I hope this is helpful. The blog post here, I'm going to stop sharing. The blog post has a little bit more information to sort of elucidate some of these factors that I'm sharing with you. But the really big point that I want to make is grades and rigor are the most important things that colleges are looking at and for. And test scores are nowhere near as important as they used to be. It's really important that you understand that. And when you meet with and talk with college admissions folks, like we spend lots of time talking with them about the decisions they make and how they make them, you will come to believe that they do not consider a high scoring student with low grades to be, to have had an anomaly, right? They consider a kid with low grades and high test scores a kid who has smarts and didn't apply them in school. And that doesn't say something good about you for your college applications. So I hope this is helpful. Like I said, there's lots more information in the blog post. Thanks.